Thank you once again for tuning in to Henry's Dashboard Dialogues, where we sort of envision sitting in the front seat of a car, having a conversation on the way to work or on the way to school, and to learn a little bit more about this place that we call home, Glasgow, Kentucky. I have a very special guest here on the program today. My guest is Schelly Vance, well-known gal around town, and the name of this program is Everybody Loves Schelly, which is a true statement. Schelly Vance, thank you for being with us here on Henry's Dashboard Dialogues.
Thank you for having me, Mayor.
You're the public safety officer.
Yes, sir.
All right. You have a huge job.
I wear many hats. Well, I actually started my career with the city in 2011 as a 911 dispatcher.
Okay.
And you were talking about tough jobs. That is definitely a tough job. And those folks don't get the respect and recognition they deserve because they truly are the first responders.
So that was in 2011, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I worked there for about 4 years. And then the position opened up for the public safety officer. And Chief Howie interviewed me and ended up hiring me for the position.
That is a broad title for what you do, isn't it?
It is.
If I'm needing a public safety officer, what am I going to expect for you to do for me?
Well, one of my priority jobs is to assist the officers in the things that they do on the daily basis. Of course, we're stretched thin at the police department, and those officers are responding to emergency traffic. Matter of fact, we responded to, I think it was 19,423 calls last year, and that's just the GPD. That's not EMS or Barron County Sheriffs. That's just the GPD.
That's a busy day's work, isn't it?
It is. So what my position was created for is to help them with those non-emergency things, such as the school traffic, which, just the 2 schools that I take care of, I'm in school traffic approximately an hour a day.
One of the things that people don't realize is that everybody that is involved in school traffic, picking up, dropping off, things like that, they got 2 or 3 things on their mind. Did I get the kid? Am I here on time? Where am I going? It's just good to have somebody like Schelly Vance out there keeping them going slower, pointing them in the right direction, those kind of things, right?
Absolutely. It's a scary job sometimes, like when the fog and the rain, hazardous weather, because, people, their visibility is limited. Maybe they've got other things on their mind. So you have to be really focused and keep your head on a swivel.
One of the neat things that Schelly does as the public safety officer is that Schelly is involved in the things that happen downtown, like the downtown Sip Shop and Stroll and the downtown, maybe the car show, other things that happen downtown. You're involved in truly the public safety. You're involved when it comes to shutting the roads down, but you're involved when it comes time to fill out the permits, right? Talk about that, Schelly.
Absolutely. And like I said, I wear a lot of hats for the police department, and the part that you're talking about is kind of coordinating the events. So if you wanted to have an event like the downtown business has the Sip Shop and Stroll, they would reach out to me and they would fill out an application. And we would go from there and they would say, hey, these are the hours. This is kind of what we're going to do. This is where we want to set up. So then I would take that application. I would create what they call an encroachment permit, which is filed at the state level. So I'd send an email saying, we're going to shut down this road. We're going to do electronic signs to notify people, and then I'd reach out to Marcus to get those signs. Then I would
You're talking about Marcus Thurman.
Absolutely, at Emergency Management. He's phenomenal. And then I would send that to the state, and of course, once it's approved, I'll reach out to the street department about barricades and times and shut down and set up times. So it's a lot of moving parts.
When these things are happening, that it takes some coordination. And that's kind of what Schelly Vance is in charge of.
Absolutely. And then I'll also reach out to the responders because, if you have an ambulance run, they need to be aware that, hey, this part of the roadway is closed, so this may or may not be the route I need to take to get this person.
Over at 911, they need to know if the road's closed so they don't send an ambulance down a certain road that's closed. So there's a lot of coordination, and that is truly, by definition, what a public safety officer would do. So you're involved in a lot of things like that. You are a friendly face to a lot of young students. Talk about that, Schelly.
Absolutely. Well, I've been very blessed to have this position that I'm in now, and I'm very thankful for it. It exposes me to a lot of the kids in the school because I do a lot of the community, I guess, like teaching type, about drug awareness or Halloween safety. So I go talk to the kids, like an educational thing. I was also a mentor to Boys and Girls Club, so I got to know a lot of kids there. Been involved in bridge, and I've got a lot of nieces and nephews that are in the school system, so I know a lot of the kids in the area, and it's so cool when they see you out somewhere and they'll speak to you, and their parents like, "Who are you talking to?"
Well, but I've noticed in some of the things downtown, you are a friendly face to these young kids. They know you, Schelly.
Absolutely, they do, and I know them. I mean, I keep up with them, and when they get their driver's license, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Like this afternoon, I was in Red Cross school traffic, and every day there's a guy who drives a white truck, and that's all I'll say about that. He pulls up and his little daughter in the back seat. She's given me a Reese's peanut butter cup 2 days in a row.
Oh,
She's
my
the
goodness.
sweetest thing. She just wants to roll the window down and say, "Hey," so they'll pull out. And
Isn't that neat?
it's very neat. I feel like my job is a blessing. Now, the folks I work with, the officers, a lot of times they have to do those hard things.
Yeah.
Like assist in social services type calls and things. So when they have to go in and do those things, I think I really need to go the extra mile to be friendly and helpful and a friendly face like you were talking about, just because, in the course of their jobs, a lot of those guys get, not so much favorable attention from the public or people they've had to deal with. So, I have to fill in the gaps where my stepfather, Mike Swift, he always told me that 911 job, he said, that's the toughest job out there in emergency response.
And he knew why, didn't he?
He did. And, like I said, it's a challenging job to sit in that seat. I mean, it was pretty rough.
Public Service Officer Schelly Vance with the Glasgow Police Department is here today as our guest on Henry's Dashboard Dialogues. Who knows where we'll go next time on our little journey? Come back and join us.
Going back to Glasgow.